Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report, starting with the ASX here on the weekly chart. And we're looking at this low here as blue wave 4 here, primary wave 4, and we're looking for 5 waves up. So we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and then we've got 5 waves for wave 3 here. And we're looking at wave 4 either being completed here with this grayed out wave 4, and then wave 5 here for this wave 5 here. And then in that case, if that's the case, we'd look at this down here as wave 1 or A and B or 2, and down for 3 or C here. This box here is the 50-60% retracement level from the 2009 low, so this is the 2016 low here. And the other count that we have is wave 4 here with 1 and 2 and 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave up here, and a C wave down, finishing here, and then moving higher from this point here when this low comes in back up this way. So I don't know which one is going to unfold here, but we are working on this little move down through here. So we're lining this move up here with the US. It seems to be dominating all the moves. So with that in mind, we're looking at this on the daily chart, the same count as the US in terms of 1 and 2. And we're looking at all of this as the third wave, a fourth wave here, pulling back to the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, and then 5 waves down. There's a couple of important levels here. This one here, the 5,500 and the 5,300 area through here. So let's go in and have a look at this particular move through here on the 4-hour chart, just drilling into that. So if we're mirroring the US, then we would look at it down like this here with wave 1 and 2, and I would have had this before, but this sort of threw me out here a little bit, having this this other little high coming in over here. Otherwise we would have counted this down for 1 and back for 2 here. So it's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to count this in 2 ways. I'm going to count it on its own merits as a singular market, and I'm also going to count it in line with the US market. So this count here is in line with the US market. So we've got wave 1 and 2 here already in play, and we're looking down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the third wave, a fourth wave, and a fifth wave down through here. So counting it on its own merits, this is where it would be here. Wave 1 and 2 here, wave 3 and 4 here, and then looking at all of this coming down here in wave 5. So I've still got another low to come in here, still got a kickback here, and then another move down into this space here. One of the other points that, so in this case here, we're either going to come back up into, call this wave 1 and come back up into this space, or if it was the other move, the American move, well then we'll just come back up into close to the 5, and then drop from that point. The other thing I wanted to point out here is that 5,500 is important, and the next level higher is 5,800. But the 5,650, I always find that it becomes a bit of a balance point for the correction that happens at 5.7 and 5.6. So it won't mean much right now, but later on it could become a very important balance point for a particular correction. So we'll just keep an eye on this number here. I always sort of highlight it because it's an unusual number, but it plays a part a little bit later on. Drilling into this on the hourly chart here and looking at this in terms of the S&P 500. So count. So looking at this as wave 4 over here, looking at all of this down here as wave 1 and 2 here, and then all of this move down through here as little 5 waves here for wave 1. So wave 1 here, and it's quite a nice little 5 waves really, and then wave 2 here, and then wave 1. This is the third wave happening here, so wave 1 here, wave 2 here, 5 waves in here for wave 3, then wave 4, and then coming down for wave 5, which will be in 5 waves too, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the third wave. The fourth wave can pull back to the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, so it can pull all the way back up here. But this number here will become important, and then wave 5 coming down, and then an ABC here that once I got this low in, then we could look at that. So it will either be 5,650 or closer to the 757 area through here. So and then down here, so we should be expecting some quite bearish markets in here. We're well positioned with our equity trades in Australia in terms of building into short trades, and we'll be able to catch from wave 2 to wave 3 here with all of this here. So you don't really want to get stopped out, so keeping stops out of the way for this particular move would be the strategy forward. Okay, so moving over to China. So with China here, this correction has panned out quite well, but it's sort of left the Hong Kong market a little bit short. But and what I mean by that is that the move down through here has sort of stopped the Hong Kong market from actually completing its pattern, I think. So, but we have to go with it. So, wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C and a D, and then an E wave here, and the E wave is an A and a B and a C wave here. I thought it may have gone higher, but into the 11.5, but it's fallen a little bit short. But now we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5. So this market can be shorted from 11,000 down to 10,000 basically. So yeah, this is definitely a corrective pattern here, an Elliott Wave triangle, and we could be able to see this move lower. But this little pattern through here, some of the other Asian markets have got this. It's quite interesting. This little move up here is an A and a B and a C here. This pattern here has played out in other markets, the Nikkei, the Nifty, and the Hong Kong market, so on. So this pattern is relevant to those markets, but because it's just an A and a B and a C here, it hasn't finished it off properly in these next 3 markets that we're going to look at. So with Hong Kong here, I was looking from its wave 3 here, looking up as an A wave and a B wave, and looking up for a C wave for wave 4 here, and looking for 5 waves up, and I've got 1 and 2, and we could put wave 3 on here, but wave 4 doesn't come in here at all. So we've been stopped out in this trade, and that's fine. But yeah, I need time to figure this move out here. It's like it hasn't finished the 5 waves up in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. It's just been dominated by not only China but the US as well. So yeah, we'll need a bit of a rally before we can sort of move into this particular market. This trend line through here may see a bounce here. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. And this also goes through to the other markets that I wanted to look at as well. So the Nikkei here is fine actually. So it's a Nifty that didn't pan out very well. So in this case here, we've got wave 3 over here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and we're looking for C wave moving down. So we expect this to move down as an expanded flat correction down just below the 20,000 area through here, and just drilling into this here. I need to label this the move down through here. I'm looking at it the same as the US for the moment. So wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then 1 and 2 in here, and 3, 4, and 5 here. It is possible that we've got all of this down for wave 1 and back for wave 2 at this point here, and we're coming down for wave 3. And I'll look at that once this particular pattern here of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 has exhausted itself. If it moves beyond this, then we need to look at it as wave from 2 down to wave 3 coming into play here. But it won't make any difference for the time being here. We are short and we're looking at it as 1 and 2 and 3 here. So on the 1 hour chart here, we had this short trade set up from last time we spoke, and I was looking for a higher wave 2 here in terms of an A and a B and a C looking higher here. But I'll have to stay with this here for the time being, and this also moves in with the US moves to the downside as well. So we can expect a bounce from the 21 area through here, but because we're in a third wave, we'll just hold short with all of this as well, as we would expect lower down into the 20,000. And the Nifty India here, once again, wave 3 over here to start with, an A wave here, a B wave up here, and a C wave down here. I know that we can have a top in play over here as wave 5, and looking down this is wave 1 here, and we can call this move back here wave 2. And that's fine, but let's just see how, once we get our from wave 4 to 5 here, let's see how we go, because if this is wave 5 low coming in here, then we'll move up from that point. If we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and we've got our 5 waves down here, we're only going to come back up as an ABC pattern here, and then we're going to go down here. So the 50-60% retracement level will be critical at this point. So we'll just be a little bit mindful in this space here. And then once we understand what's going on here, we'll reposition ourselves. But in the meantime, it won't matter too much, because we'll still expect this move down. Now, one of the problems here with this move up here, it didn't finish either up here, a little bit like the Hong Kong market. So let's go in and have a look at that. So I still need to try and understand this the best I can. So if we look at this as wave 3 here, I was looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. Whichever way I look at it, this here hasn't finished properly. So I'll just go to the hourly chart where we were working here. So we an A and a B and a C wave here, but we're looking at it as wave 4, whichever way we look at it. So I had wave 1 here, which is nice, and I could put this wave 2 here, or I could go an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here on this spike. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. And then all of this here would be just the third wave, and we're looking for a fourth wave to pull back, and then a fifth wave to the upside. But it's just sort of failed. So maybe I need to re-examine this, and I could squash it in or something and put a wave 4 here and a wave a wave 5 here and a wave 4 here, and call it in here. But so I'm not really sure which way. I'm not sure how to resolve this just yet. I need to check other things and ponder it for a little while. It's not like the markets to truncate like that in that degree of structure. So I just want to see what's going on. But one of the main points here, though, is that we need to move these out of the way and call wave 4 in here, and start to look at this to the downside here now with all of this. So and I'll change this B wave here, this one here. I'll need to put, don't need that. Okay, I'll come back to that. Move this here, B wave to here, A wave to here. I can move these over here, 3, 4, and 5 over here. I'll put this one here, here, and here. Not that all that makes a lot of difference. In fact, we won't even do that. We'll just keep these here, and we can use these over here now. So yeah, we can look to short now with these. So I just wanted to wait for this little 5-wave structure to come down here, then a retest here, and then we can use yeah, we don't need those. So there's going to be a little bounce in the US markets, and that's going to reflect back into these here. So we can look at those a little bit later. So I want these over here. Don't need that. We had a good run coming up here, no doubt. So that was good. And we've got this trend line running through here. You might need to adjust that a little bit, but we should get some support within all of that space there. I mean, even if you've counted this up as 5 waves here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, it still hasn't finished off properly within this space. The other point that we need to make here is that the 50-60% retracement level from here is also going to deliver support, so we need to be mindful of that, which is in this space here. So the move down here is expected to take this low out here, so we can look at this as further downside here for this. And we don't need those. Bit of housework here, but that's okay. So yeah, we're looking for that short trade coming into play here and hoping this is going to be pulled around by the other markets. I mean, the other thing with this here, this move up here, it could be a B wave up here. So an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave coming back into this space here and then moving up higher. It's possible, but I will just, as a possibility, I will put it here just for the time being here. But otherwise, we need to look for this short trade. So we can see that from this high here, that this is wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and this will be wave 3, 4, 5. So we've still got a bit more to come down, and then we've got this bounce to come into play. So that's the bounce that we need to short from. So just keep an eye on that, and you should be able to keep that in line with the US markets. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.